far as this petition, no, I'm not. And
but naturally, individual cases.
Yeah.
So I think we've covered the maintainability aspect. I think the very first order had addressed the question of maintainability. So let's not waste time on that. Let's go to, is there a solution? There isn't. What's the way forward?
My lord, my submission was, and the petition is basically about and the FIA has been doing this for a while, that whenever journalists or even non-journalists on social media, etc., they publish something which is not acceptable to FIA immediately files an FIR under the Prevention of Electronic Crimes Act. Either they file an FIR or they just start an inquiry. And as your lordship knows, that under the FIA Act at least, even after launching an inquiry, FIA has the power of arrest. They use that as a sword to dangle over the persons making the publication. And they have been doing it repeatedly. Sometimes after doing it, they then come and they say, okay, now we are withdrawing it. But the chilling effect remains upon the media as well.
Mr. Salahuddin, again, I'll have to interrupt. Can I prevent an FIR to be registered against me in any police station in Pakistan?
No, sir.
It may be misuse of the law. That's a different thing altogether. So, I mean, that will turn on the case-to-case basis. And if I do so, tomorrow someone will say, oh, he's the Chief Justice, so he's done so. So I can't even prevent it. So let's look at we know what's happened in Pakistan. You want a whole history, you can read. Books have been written by the media about what has happened to the press. So let's look at the larger picture. If somebody is misusing the law, I mean, they can register some case against you saying you've done someone's chicken you've stolen wherever in Gwadar, or who can stop you?
There is one particular section that is used again and again, which is abused again and again. And that is section 20 of the Prevention of Electronic Crimes Act.
I thought you will start from the Constitution and go downwards.
My lord, Article 19 is...
So let's go from the beginning. It's always... That's what governs us all.
Every citizen shall have the right to freedom of speech and expression, and there shall be freedom of the press, subject to any reasonable restrictions imposed by law in the interest of glory of Islam or the integrity, security, or defense of Pakistan or any part thereof, friendly relations with foreign states, public order, decency or morality, or in relation to contempt of court, commission of or incitement to an offense. So there is Article 19 and then Article 19A, which is a concomitant right. Every citizen shall have the right to have access to information in all matters of public importance, subject to regulation and reasonable restrictions imposed by law. Now, my lord, as far as Article 19 is concerned, as your lordship is aware, there is a twofold test. First of all, it must link with the objects. If a restriction is to be imposed under Article 19, in order to be permissible under Article 19, it must relate with the objects mentioned therein, the glory of Islam, integrity, so on and so forth. Now, apart from that, the second test is that it must be reasonable. And it is one of the, if the restriction imposed, even if it is imposed by law for one of those 6 objects, even then, if it is unreasonable, it will fall afoul of Article 19 and may be struck down. So it is one of the situations where this court can strike down legislation for being an unreasonable restriction. as opposed to the ordinary rule of deference.
Ji.
Now, what has happened, if your lordship sees, my lord, in the Prevention of Electronic Crimes Act, they have...
No, first tell us the full name. Let's go step by step.
Ji, sir. The Prevention of Electronic...
You have the advantage of Pakistan seeing you. It's a public interest matter. So let it also be educational for everybody.
Ji, sir.
You have no problem with that, I hope.
No, no, sir. Sir, the Prevention of Electronic Crimes Act 2016.
Ji.
Now, if your lordship sees the offences under the Act, they start from Section 3. And they go on to Section 26.
Which do you think offends Article 19?
My lord, my case is, as far as Section 20 is concerned, there is a scheme within the FIA, within the Prevention of Electronic Crimes Act itself, that it places offences on two levels. It makes some of the offences, which are the more serious offences, cognizable, in which the FIA can investigate of its own accord and arrest without permission. And then it places a lower category of offences which are not cognizable. They require a complaint to be filed by the aggrieved person.
Which are the cognizable ones?
Ji, sir. The cognizable offences are mentioned in Section 43. All offences under this Act, except the offences under Sections 10, 21 and 22 and abatement thereof, shall be non-cognizable, bailable and compoundable, provided that offences under Section 17 shall be cognizable by the investigation agency on a written complaint by the authority. Offences under 10, 21 and 22 and abatement thereof shall be non-bailable, non-compoundable and cognizable by the investigation agency. Now, if your lordship will turn to 10, 21 and 22 and 17. Ten is cyber terrorism.
Just to save time, why don't you just tell us which is, in your opinion, violative of Article 19?
Lord, my submission is that the manner in which Article 20, the Section 20 is used, that falls afoul of Article 19.
Section 20.
Section 20.
Can we read 20 then?
Ji, sir. Whoever intentionally and publicly exhibits or displays or transmits any information through any information system which he knows to be false and intimidates or harms the reputation or privacy of a natural person. And this is often abused, sir, intimidation, institutions ko usme le aate hain. But shall be punished with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 3 years or with fine which may extend to 1 million rupees or with both.
Are you saying their application or their interpretation or their understanding is contrary to the law? Or are you saying the law is ultra vires the Constitution?
My lord, as far there are two arguments here. One, the application that FIA does routinely is contrary to the language of Section 20, because karte ye hai sir ke aur is case mein bhi yahi kiya hai.
Then you can't fault the law. You can fault the application of the law.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that's a different
Yes,
point.
yes.
Yes.
As far as the law is concerned,
You are saying its application is used for ulterior purposes.
yes, sir. Because although it is a non-cognizable offense, it requires an aggrieved person to make a complaint before the magistrate. FIA treats it as a directly cognizable offense. It arrests people on offenses that can at best, or inquiries
Where
that
does it say it has to be before a magistrate? Which is that provision?
Sir, it is a non-cognizable offense.
Okay.
That is under the CRPC itself, non-cognizable offenses. Then if your lordship will see, section 29(2).
Ji.
That makes the Criminal Procedure Code applicable. And then if your lordship will see the rules itself, ये है Prevention of Electronic Crimes Investigation Rules 2018.
Ji.
इसमें सर if your lordship sees Rule 7(5). In case of a non-cognizable offense under the Act, the circle in charge shall seek.
Which rule?
Rule 7, sub-rule 5.
Ji.
4 or 5 अगर दोनों देख लें सर.
Ji, rule 7.
Sub-rule 4 and sub-rule 5.
Ji.
In case a cognizable offense has been committed under the Act, the circle in charge, after seeking legal opinion, shall order registration of such case subject to prior approval of additional director in the zone. 5. In case of a non-cognizable offense under the Act, the circle in charge shall seek permission of the competent court for investigation under Section 155 of the Code.
Isn't this ample safeguard?
It is not followed in any case.
No, that's a secondary question. First of all, you have to say this is ample safeguard if followed.
Yes.
Or you say, no, it's not.
If followed, yes. If followed, yes. There is a second argument, though, regarding the law itself that I'll put.
Well,
but on this argument, yes, that is.
That makes our job very easy.
Yes, sir.
We can stress it.
Yes, sir.
That it must be followed in each and every case.
Yes, sir.
So that is over.
Because what happens is, and that is why I was
like I said, nobody can stop anyone from doing. I mean, one is the law itself. One is misuse of the law, or trying to do things which the law does not permit. Like, for instance, if you file a false FIR, you can be criminally prosecuted. How many criminal prosecutions happen in Pakistan?
Yes, sir. Very few, sir.
It's a criminal offense. And
yes,
then
sir.
You can also sue for damages also.
Yes, sir.
It doesn't happen. Huh?
But the reason we are seeking...
No, it doesn't happen, so they get away with it. Like, you say the same thing, go and say it in the UK. You'll be financially wiped out because of damages. Yahan kya hai? Yahan to you earn money for, sometimes you just say things, okay, I get more viewership, I get more controversial. The more controversial, the better the bookseller.
Yes.
So I want to more focus on the ultra vires aspects of the law, if any.
Sir.
Because there is also a judgment, I think, of
Islamabad High Court, sir.
I think you'll come to that.
It's a short order, yes. The detailed judgment.
Now we have one difficulty. There's another. I didn't realize they're clashing benches today. There's a 5-member bench. It's 6-member bench. My brother corrects me. That takes priority. So when do you want it?
Sir, if it can be later this week, sir. Thursday, Friday.
Tomorrow?
Sir, tomorrow na kare. Tomorrow I have to.
Huh?
But tomorrow will be difficult for me, sir. I have a matter that.
Where?
Sir, it is in the Sindh High Court, but it is part heard and.
They'll go there.
Yes, sir.
आज के Monday है ना? What about Wednesday? Wednesday?
ठीक है, sir.
Will you be able to come back?
Thursday अगर रख लें sir, अगर
Thursday? Thursday we have that other case review. Ji.
Friday, sir, or next week.
Can't you continue tomorrow?
Sir, अगर video link से फिर इजाजत दे दें sir.
It's not the same. It's really not the same. And I can't hear you, or you can't hear us, or there's overlap always. So how urgent is?
Sir, yeah, Wednesday. अगर Wednesday है तो ठीक है Wednesday.
We were thinking of. I didn't realize this bench. अब ये भी पता नहीं वो date उसमें क्या पड़ती है. So you are saying this week is not convenient.
अगर next week हो जाए तो.
Unless somebody else we can hear on this side, or you're the only counsel.
My lord, as counsel, I'm the only one. Perhaps Ms. Fariha.
No. We won't allow that. You can ask her, and we can certainly take on board. Otherwise, we'll have to hear everybody, which the case will never get decided.
Sir, if Wednesday is possible, I'll.
Wednesday, okay? ठीक है? चलिए Wednesday से रख लेते हैं.
ठीक है. Great.
Only request that my petition be clubbed and heard with these.
But actually, it's no longer that simple. Everything goes to the committee now.
It's been there for a month and a half, and I did put the request to club it with these petitions. I attached the orders.
It doesn't
as well.
happen. If he's going to say the same thing, then let him say it. If you have something special, you can tell Mr. Salahuddin Ahmed.
It
My
is
lord, I think
distinct.
perhaps on the technical sides of things, as she is a journalist.
Yeah,
and,
we will not go down that level. We are going to stay in the level of law and constitution. We're not going to say this happens and that happens.
I wish to argue about the law and the constitution. I have followed the procedure. It is before the committee.
We'll have a look. If the committee decides when it meets. Generally, we meet on Thursdays. Generally, but it's changeable. तो फिर अभी Wednesday का कर देंगे.
Grateful, sir.
May I make a submission, Lordship? I would like to file a statement on. I would like to file a statement before this honorable court. Being a
आप आ तो जाने माइक पे.
Sir, I would like to file a statement as a Vice Chairman Pakistan Bar Council in the instant matter. I may be allowed to.
By all means, you are supporting Mr. Salahuddin, opposing. What is your plea?
Supporting, Lordship.
Huh?
Supporting.
Achha, okay. Do you have any objection? But if you're filing something, then you have to do it in the office as we are adjourning and give them copies also so they can also see it. ठीक है?
Thank you.
So by all means, file it. इसमें लिखिए. Mr. Qayyum Siddiqui, is he representing you?
No, sir.
Is Mr. Salahuddin Ahmed representing you?
No, sir.
Okay, because he's taken away Mr. Imran Shafkat from you and Mr. Amir Mir.
Not Amir Mir, sir.
Okay.
Absar Alam and Matiullah Jan.
Okay, अच्छा चलें तो ठीक है. इसमें लिखिए.
आमिर मीर साहब के जहांगीर जदून साहब पेश होते हैं गालिबन.
वो तो नहीं है. ओके. आपका स्टेटमेंट हम लिख लें. Yes.
Yes.
इसमें लिखिए. Do you know the FIR numbers?
127 of 2021 and 128 of
127 is whose?
this is Mr. Amir Meets.
Registered at which police station?
By Lahore Cybercrime Wine Circle, Cybercrime Circle.
ये किस जगह मिलेगी हमें?
Yes, sir. They are part of CMA's 2488.
नहीं वाली.
2488, sir. FIR 127 is at page 5. This is Mr. Amir Meers, and FIR 128 is at page 11.
Page?
Page 5, sir. Page 5 and page 11 are the two FIRs.
इसमें लिखिए learned attorney general of Pakistan. has filed. Today you filed CMA number 2488 and
2490, sir.
what happened to 89?
8788 were filed by me and
2489 is filed by?
योर लॉर्डशिप अगर इजाजत हो तो एक और इशू भी आपके
2488 and 2490 of 2024. ये चीज बाद में देखें. And states that FIR number 127/2021 registered at
FIA Cybercrime Wing.
FIA Cybercrime Wing, Lahore, on 7 August 2021 against Mr. नाम कहाँ लिखा है?
Sir, it's in the 8th or 9th line at the bottom. From the bottom, sir.
Registered by the state against
Mr. Amir Mir.
Mr.
Amir Mir.
Amir Mir
Ji.
under sections 11,13 कितने section लगाएं? Under sections 11,13, 20 and 24 of the Pakistan Electronic Crimes Act, 2016, read with sections 469, 500, 505 and 509 of the Pakistan Penal Code were registered under a previous government, and the government and FIA and the government and the federal government is not. What is the language you want to use? We'll use your words.
My lord, the FIA does not wish to pursue this matter.
And in his opinion, case is not made out.
Case is not made out.
And in his opinion is your opinion. And in his opinion, the case was not made out, and FIA will not be pursuing will be closing. Close, what's the technical word?
No, now FIA will be moving an appropriate application before the trial court.
And FIA
Closure of them.
will be moving an appropriate application for closure of the said case against Mr.
Amir Mir.
Amir Mir. Full stop. He has also referred to, the next one is?
Page 11, sir, FIR number 128 of 2021 against Mr. Imran Shafkat.
अच्छा ये मैं ख्याल में आप यहाँ से देख लेना.
Also dated.
Particulars. ठीक है, ये 11 नंबर से वही चीजें लिख देना इधर. इसका भी वही लिख देना. ठीक है, ये तो दो हो गए. These two are done.
Yes, my lord.
अच्छा जी, आप क्या बता रहे हैं?
सब ये बताना था कि रिजवान रजी को भी आप इफ यू रिमेम्बर उठा लिया गया था हथकड़ियां लगा के, फिर ये FIA वाले उनकी तस्वीर जो है वो वायरल करते हैं जर्नलिस्टों की. तो उसके बाद हाई कोर्ट में भी उनका रिजवान रजी का एक केस है, उस पे स्टे भी हुआ.
लेकिन जब तक कोई चीज हमारे कागज नहीं है तो हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते ना. आप इनको बता दीजिए
अटॉर्नी जनरल से. मैं बिल्कुल
इनको he won't know even if you just tell him like this. He will need to naturally find out about it. This so he's filed reports, so he knows about them. अच्छा, इसमें लिखिए we commenced hearing Mr. Salahuddin Ahmed. However, in view of the fact that there is a larger bench at 11:30, the matter is adjourned to tomorrow, day after. परसों की तारीख डाल दीजिए. हाँ. Do you want a time? I mean, if you're catching a morning flight, we can do the rest of the board.
11:30 would be best, sir. 11:30 would be best. If
I don't want to do it because I don't know what that bench, we have to give the conflicting time. So, but we will accommodate you. If you're not here, we will wait for you. ठीक है, time नहीं रखिए, ठीक है. आप इनको बता दीजिए. Anything else? ये आपको कुछ फाइल करना है, आप फाइल कर दीजिए.
Your Lordship, I'll be representing RIUJ and PFUJ. उसमें हम intervener के तौर पे आ रहे हैं.
On the last date of hearing.
Last date पर hearing पे हमने कोर्ट ने allow किया था, तो we will file appropriate application for their inclusion in this case.
So why are you saying this and why don't you just file it?
मुझे
You're waiting for some invitation.
मुझे रात को उन्होंने कहा है, तो I'll be filing. कल कर
बिल्कुल आप करें, कौन मना कर रहा है आपको?
प्लीज.
केस खत्म हो जाएगा, फिर आप ना कहिएगा.
We'll assist Mr. Salah.
फिर आप कहिएगा कि मुझे तो सुना ही नहीं.
No, we're not.
चलिए, ओके. तो कुछ और रह गया था? अच्छा.